Start. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First off, Warren and I co-minister for those of you that haven't been here. So 1 week I speak and 1 week he speaks. And it so happened that last week I was supposed to speak, but then the boys and I got sick and he spoke. So I got lucky and got the first Sunday in the new church, which I was excited about. But anyway, that kind of explains that. The other thing is I was sitting there in meditation and I thought to myself, how fortunate are we to have somebody that has been in this church before and was married in this church 52 years ago. Wave, guys, wave. And I thought how blessed we are because, you know, someone told me that they in fact, Susan, where's Giselle? Susan told me she guest spoke in this church off and on, Susan Sandelbeck, and that she said it was such a loving community. And I told her, and I felt that from YouTube too, but I told her, I said, yeah, when the first time we came into the building to see it, we actually were peeking in windows at the beginning, but when we came in to see it, I felt the love in here. Now, you know, it was definitely needed some work, but we were like, I felt the energy and the love, and that made me feel good about, you know, us getting this for our new church home. But anyway, the other thing was 52 years married and then a new baby too. So we got the gambit going on today, don't we? And then all of the rest of us that are blessed. Anyway, my message this morning is titled, I've Got Sunshine on Cloud 8. One more other thing. When we went in the past, we have always had the PowerPoint or whatever this way. So it's going to be a new thing for me to go this way with my Vanna arms, you know. Anyway, I got this message few weeks ago, and you know, of course, this is a song by the Temptations that came out in 1965, and actually Smokey Robinson and Ronald White were the ones who wrote it, and Smokey wrote it for his wife, which I thought was really cool. But I kept having this version sing in my head, and it was my version changes the words from my girl to my God, and I think I like my words a lot better. And whoop. I thought I had the next slide there, but anyway. So it said, you know, the words were my God. And so what happened was we moved here 12 years ago, and the weather was why we moved here too, not only just because we were called here, but because, you know, I was tired of snow. We moved from Kansas, so it was cold and icy and all that stuff. But it was so funny because the other day I was telling everybody how cold I was and how chilly it was out, and I had to laugh at myself because I said in 12 years my body has adapted to this weather and thought now it feels cold here. But when we moved here, it was just like this rainy, cold days we've had, and I thought it was like fall weather from Kansas, you know, and I couldn't believe people were wearing coats and everything, you know. I said, hey, this is fall weather, not winter weather, so I thought I would have it made. But we do adapt, and our perspective changes, and it's amazing how easily it can change. And this could happen on our spiritual journey too, can it? Yes. We can change how we are and what we're doing. We cruise through and we think everything's all cool and all that. And I have a feeling my slides are messed up. Yep, I do. Yeah, they are. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Anyway, it's like going to church on Sunday, and you know, you get used to coming, and then you might start wondering, well, why am I coming? You know? Now, I know why I come every Sunday, and it's not just because I'm the minister, you know, I need to be here, but I come because I feel the energy of other people, and it helps me on my spiritual journey. It helps me flourish and try to live more from that practical Christianity that we strive to live for. And I know that if I'm here growing and learning, and then I'm going to be more of a minister to other people, and also people themselves are going to feel that energy. I hope all of you want to be here and feel that. But it helps me practice principle from a Christ-centered consciousness. And that's what we strive to do, isn't it? I don't want to go out and get in my car and then drive down the street and start yelling at people driving. You know, that's not where we want to be. We want to be in that spirit of loving. We want to be in that spirit of being here for each other and seeing that there's more than a bad driver, that maybe that person had something going on. Maybe that person needed something else. You don't know, you know, you don't know what's going on. But our attitude about life can easily be influenced if we don't think about what we want, I think. We have to think about what we want. Do we want a higher spiritual journey, or do we want to just live through life every day, ho-hum, this is the way it is and this is what's going to happen. But we get to choose how we see it, and we get to choose how we experience it, and we get to choose whether or not we really are going to put into practice the truths that we know. And we all know truths. It's like that song, the line in the song, I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. If we decide we have sunshine on a cloudy day, we are going to have sunshine on a cloudy day, aren't we? That's right. Well, Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, wrote this in the book Christian Healing. It is the testimony of all philosophers that everything is in a state of construction or destruction. These two states are all pervading, and they are apparently essential in building the universe. Now, we have been experiencing that right here. We had to destruct a lot in here before we could construct, and we still got stuff we got to finish. We didn't get all the banners up, 12 disciple banners. We've got a bathroom to finish, and it's all good. It's all going to happen, and it's the way it's supposed to be. But the metaphysician, you and me, discerns the cause of these two movements to be the yes and the no, construction, destruction, yes, no. These dual attributes of mind are in evidence everywhere, but they are not understood by those who observe only form instead of spirit. Meaning, if all we're doing is seeing the yes and the no, the bad driver, the good driver, I don't like that person, I love that person. If we're just doing that all the time and not seeing beyond that, not seeing the spiritual aspect of each human being on this earth, then we're going to be stuck. And we're not going to be expressing truly how God wants us to express. The positive and the negative poles of the magnet are states of mental affirmation and denial. Now, I'm going to explain this a little bit more in just a minute. In acid and alkali, in sour and sweet, chemistry is proclaiming yes and no, right? Day and night, heat and cold, sunshine and shadow, intelligence and ignorance. Good and evil, saint and sinner, all are reflections of mental affirmations and denials. I mean, how many times has somebody said, oh, you're a sinner? And that's not true. That's not a true statement according to God. God doesn't make sinners. Anyway, it's like two sides of the coin, two perspectives. And we have to decide, are we going to say yes to a spiritual, holy, right-thinking perspective, or are we going to just keep on trucking through life every single day the other way? The constructive or destructive factor in all manifestation is yes or no. What do you want to live? How do you want to live? Do you want to live in the yes or the no?
Yes.
Yes. That's what I want anyway. And that's where we've got to understand the idea of the power of denial. Denial isn't saying something isn't happening. Denial is not giving energy to something happening. The positive, we're back to the positive and negative poles of the magnet, are states of mental affirmation and denial. We get to choose. If we don't like something and we sit there and fester on that for a while, guess what we're going to be experiencing? A lot more of things we don't like. But if we start thinking, hey, I'm not going to look at that and say that's a bad thing. I'm going to know that that is happening over there and it has nothing to do with me. I can still say that I am one with God, that I am feeling this energy moving in and through me, and it is changing my life. And it's powerful. And that's where affirmations come in, because we all know affirmations, right? I am prosperous, I am great, I am whatever. I am love, I am happy. Those are affirmations, and we always put something good after the I am, because I am is what God called each one of our souls. But in order for our small m mind to believe and receive these truths, the I am happy, I am love, we must take away anything that is blocking it by denying the power we are giving to it. So if somebody upsets you, what are you supposed to do?
Bless.
Not react. Yeah, you have to bless them. You have to say, that does not have anything to do with me. If my grown kids are doing something I don't like, I have to be able to say, hey, that's on them. Sit back. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's been a learning curve, but with my kids. But I have to say, hey, it's not anything that I did or said, and you can't put that on me. I'm not going to give my power away and let them do that. So if we're holding on to anything negative, any thoughts, words, or actions, we need to rid ourselves of those, of whatever it is we've been giving our power away. Because if we don't, we won't be able to believe the truth, the capital T truth, the things that we know to be true that are from God, that Jesus talked about, that anybody that is on a spiritual journey, anybody that is wanting to live a more Christian life knows about themselves. So there's work for us to do in our lives, and that's okay because we know how to do it. But when we're frustrated or at our wits' end, that's the perfect opportunity to deny any power that we're giving to that feeling that we're having. We don't have to be frustrated. I'll tell you what, I've been doing a lot of that praying this week, because you get in here and you start working hard and you get frustrated because you can't get the stuff done that you want to do. And then you go, no, everything's falling into divine order. Everything is just the way God is allowing it to be, and we can embrace and celebrate that instead of getting hung up on the frustration or the stress or the worry. It is about letting it go, about just moving forward. And we are the ones who feed the situation or not, aren't we? Yeah, it's not anybody else, pushing us from the back going, here, go get some more of that stress. No, we're doing it to ourselves. We're pushing our own selves. And we get the choice to do it or not do it. So we get to decide whether we're going to fall into that. But when we deny the power that we have been giving to something negative, then guess what? We're not saying that situation isn't happening. We're just saying that we don't have to be sucked into that vortex of the chaos or the problem or whatever it is. And, we all end up with those things. And it can be a day-to-day basis. It could be every hour something pops up. And we don't have to fall into that and get all upset. We can change how we view it, and we can sing a new song. We can see the sunshine on a cloudy day, can't we? I like to sing all day. On a cloudy day. You can sing it with me. It's just those 2 lines. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. There you go. But if I didn't think that I had sunshine with that in me, then that whole song's wrong, isn't it? It's not gonna come forth because we get to decide. If I go outside and start saying I'm freezing cold, I can't stand this weather, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get back in my car, I gotta get back inside, whatever, then we're gonna have a bad experience. But if we say, it's a little crisp and cool, but it's a sunshiny day, changes everything, doesn't it? And then I like to say that I always turn to this one, though. My God. My God, say, my God. My God. My God. Yeah, this changes our personal barometer and allows us to feel great, doesn't it? Yeah, I often think of lines of songs you guys know that been coming or watching me, that I put songs in different things because I'm like a one-liner person about music. I don't know who sings what or whatever. I always have to Google it or ask Warren. He knows. He's like a encyclopedia for music. But I'll have one line or like 4 words of a song and I'll sing it over and over again. And I always feel like if I'm doing that, then that's a message God's sending me. I got to figure out what it's supposed to mean, But anyway, then Fillmore wrote this in his book, Jesus Christ Heals. You can drive away the gloom of disappointment by resolutely singing Sunshine Song. Now, he wrote this, I kid you not, over 100 years ago. And I found this quote and I said, I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. And he wrote about it 100 years ago. Can you believe that? And it's what we're speaking about today, because I believe that we could cultivate the power of music in connection with the understanding of truth and thus rend all the bonds of sin, sickness, and death. Don't you feel better when you sing?
Oh, yeah.
And people say, I can't sing. But you know what? Humming along, singing in your car when nobody's listening to you, it'll make you feel better. And whatever the song is that sings to your soul is the song you should be singing. And then Fillmore wrote this: the world needs a new hymnal with words of truth only, and music so strong and powerful that it'll penetrate to the very center of your soul. And that's why we sing those joy songs on Sunday morning, is to get you in that mindset of that penetrating your soul, of feeling the energy of God, of being in a place where you can actually change your perspective. Our body is now tuned to the divine. Ooh, got an eye. It's divine. We shall find the keynote by listening in the silence to the singing soul. And that's true. We receive a message all the time, and it's optional. We don't have to receive our messages, but we can receive messages all the time from God, because there's always a song waiting for us. And you guys all have probably songs that sing to you at certain times, or you hear it, you get, I always say, get in the elevator or get in a store and they start playing that music and it's like, you just want to start dancing, right? People look at you crazy. Of course, if you have the shopping cart, you can kind of, nobody pays any attention. Well, I wouldn't say that, but anyway, there's always a song waiting for us, and it's important for us to listen to those songs. And like these lyrics of the song, I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Don't you want to be that person? Don't you want to affirm that truth? Because if you're going through life thinking you have more honey than the bees, isn't that a great place to be? Doesn't it change your mindset? Well, the other co-founder of Unity, which is Charles's wife, Myrtle Fillmore, of course, God bless their souls, they have been gone for a long time. She wrote this: if a person would be healed and would keep getting younger and more vigorous and alert and ready for what the times demand of him, he must get out of the rut, change his habits, appropriate the life elements in food, in the sunshine, and especially in truth statements. Affirmations, that's what we have to do. But I love that she had sunshine in there, that we need to have these elements in order to feel the healing power of prayer, in order to have a better life, in order to have those things come forth that you desire. God wants to give you every good thing that there is, and all we have to do is be happy. And we want that feeling of feeling good and feeling happy and having these. And all these gifts from God, we need to start giving thanks for them and not negate them. Because with every little thank you that you did, Reverend Moore mentioned that in his meditation, gratitude is a powerhouse of connection to our spiritual self and to the Spirit of God within us, that energy that we want to bring forth. And we bring more sunshine, and we become the light that we are here to be. And if someone around us is trying to do that to us, take away our light, then we must shield ourselves by first denying if they have any power over us, and then by affirming the ever-present good surrounding us. And then, do you ever have a bad thought happen? Like you're thinking of something and you're like, oh God, I don't want that to happen. And it's so vivid, it's like you're watching it happen. Sometimes I do that and I'm just like, oh, don't do that. But I have found that the best thing that you can do in that moment is to deny any power these thoughts have and cross them out. And I always do this, cross it out, because that whole visual of you actually crossing out the thought will help take it away. With these boys, this is our third go around. It's like they'll start climbing in the tree or whatever. And Aiden was up in that little tree out there yesterday. And I said, get down out of that tree. Well, there's a pole in the side of the tree. I don't know what that's for, but he had his foot on it. And I'm thinking to myself, if he falls the wrong way. And I said, cross out that thought, And that's what we have to do when we hear somebody has cancer, or somebody has an illness, or somebody, has had something bad happen. We're not denying that it happened. What we're saying is we're not going to give it that negative power. Because the more you focus in on the negative thing, the more that's going to grow. And if we want health and wholeness, or we want the person to find the right direction in their life, or we want the person to find the right employment, then we have to start seeing that for them too, and hold those thoughts. And crossing out the negative really makes a difference. And if, we all know if we allow God to be first, then we know God's got this, and that can change the whole perspective. Here's another quote from Myrtle. God is the only reality of us. All else is but a shadow that is cast by some foolish belief or unwise combination of thoughts and the elements of being. God is the only reality of us. And if we live from that truth alone, it changes our whole life. And that's the kind of life we want to live, don't we? And when we let light flood us with its sunshine, all clouds vanish, don't they? And we begin to see ourselves in new ways of doing, which leads to wholeness and health and satisfaction and growth. This is when we deny any power we've been giving away and start claiming truth. The free flow of God's life through us becomes hindered in its expression if our thoughts and acts imply a belief in a limited number of years and a hoarding of strength or substance or supply. I mean, I've heard people say, I can't go out because I'm just so tired. Well, that's the way it's going to be for the rest of your life. If you say that, you're going to be too tired. We need not believe that we are too old or too weak or we can't do something or we don't have enough money or we don't have enough friends or nobody cares or any of those things. That's not the truth. Because all we have to know is that God cares. That God is here with us. That God gives us the strength when we need it. And also God gives us time to relax and take it easy. And that's good too. We must prove here and now for ourselves our faith in God as omnipresent, good, and eternal life. Are you with me on this? Can we do this?
Yes.
Say yes, 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 amen. Because God is in the midst of us and is a great steady stream of renewing and cleansing and vitalizing life. And we can have the use of this life if we will open up the channels of its flowing and ourselves draw from this source. God is an unlimited, abundant source just waiting for us to like flip the switch, say, oh yeah, this is the way I want to be. And affirming the truth for ourselves and knowing the truth makes us responsible for the outcome of our lives. If we start thinking somebody else has got to make us happy or somebody else has to do something different so that we don't have to stress or whatever, we're giving away our power. We're just giving it away. And that's not where we want to be. We want to be in this place where we know we can pray and bless and send love to whoever and whatever's going on. Driving down the street, that crazy driver, send love, send blessings. Behold the Christ within them and say, I hope you make it to your destination safe without hurting anybody else. I see that for you. It makes a difference. Are you ready to take on that responsibility?
Oh, yes.
Are you?
Yes.
I hope so. Then it is up to us to choose sunshine on a cloudy day. Thank you all for being here today. God bless.